Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
How are all you dudes out there? What is up? I'm Erin.
I'm Nicole. This is Dude, That's Fucked Up, the podcast. And know what's fucked up? I've watched that new Taylor Swift video like 40 times already.
Oh, dear.
I don't even like her.
I don't either. I know from the internet that there's a new video, but I haven't watched it yet.
It's really good. There's a lot of drag queens in it, and like the Fab Five are in it, and Katy Perry's in it. It's fun. There's just
Katy Perry's in it?
Yeah, it's like they've squashed their beef.
They're like Meek Mill and Drake. That's crazy.
It's wild. And then they like hug at the end, and they're just like friends.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's kind of cute, and it's very colorful. It reminds me of David LaChapelle, the photographer.
Oh.
It's all like,
man,
it's really cool. I think you'll like it.
Like all surreal and like funky and cool. Yeah,
okay. The aesthetic is good, and I think Todrick Hall helped with it, and like Rue's in it. It's good. It's very fun.
Okay.
But also I like hate myself a lot.
I mean, it's Taylor Swift. She's just so...
She's a lot.
You know?
Yeah.
She's just like... she's not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Cool.
All right. What's going on? Anything interesting happening in the world today aside from Taylor Swift? Do we have any business? Like, what's going on?
What's the biz? I got my braces off, which we were talking about.
Bitch.
Ooh, these
you guys
teeth
should
are
see.
fresh.
Oh, you should see these chompers. They are so gorge. She looks like a fucking like Crest white strip model. Like, I don't even know. Like, she will do any kind of mouth modeling for you that you need. She's ready.
Do you need a mouth model? I am available. Hire me. I'm cute. That's what my sketch director always says. She'll be like, hire me. I'm cute. So... so yeah, that's fun. But also I have a little bit of a lisp, and I would take out my retainers, but I'm trying to keep them in, so everyone just deal with it. And
that's right.
We'll get through this together.
You're fine. I mean, I'm getting over a cold, so I might, there might be like snot dripping on my microphone from time to time.
There's a lot going on here right now.
Everybody just really embrace the gross mouth and nose sounds that you hear. This is rule number 1 of podcasting. Don't have weird mouth and nose sounds. Sorry. Well,
it's fine. It's happening.
You
fine.
get what you pay for. It's free.
I love it.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I believe the website is updated with like a starter pack that of episodes for if you're like, I want my friend to listen to this podcast, like so we can talk about it, and I know she'd love it or he'd love it, but you're like, I don't even know which episode to tell them to start on. Don't tell them to start on episode 1.
No, please.
I mean, you can if you want to. It's fine. It's just like not our best work.
Yeah.
And we want to represent ourselves in all of the forms that the episodes have taken, I guess.
Yeah.
So we slapped a few, well, Nicole did. She slapped a few episodes that are representative of like some of the things that we've covered over the past couple of years, and it's a good intro to DTFU.
Oh my gosh, guess what? The link for that, if you want to share it, in the notes for today's episode, right in there, right in the description is where you'll find it. Magic.
Amazing.
Magic.
Yeah. So anything fucked up for you this week?
No, actually. I went camping and I thought I would have so many fucked up things, but turns out I'm fucking good at it because I'm a planner. So
that's right.
I just like planned the shit out of our camping trip for Pete's birthday, and everything went swimmingly and it was great. So no fucked up things to report here, surprisingly.
That's big part of camping is planning, and it's kind of fun to plan the whole thing and just have like your wine and your snacks, and you know, that's all you need.
That's
great.
what we did. It was great.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work, but then when you get there, there's nothing to do. So it all like balances out, and we both feel like so refreshed.
Because you go to bed so fucking early. You go to bed when the sun goes down.
You go to bed so early. You get up early. You hear nature sounds. We went on a fucking long ass hike.
Yeah.
And we sweated. And then at the top, I ate beef jerky and we drank a beer that we packed up with us.
And it was the most delicious beer you've ever had.
It was so fucking good. And then I peed in nature. And then
you didn't get any pine cones up your twat.
Nope,
You just like
no. I didn't get bit by a rattlesnake on my cooter like I was expecting. So it was very
God, can you
scary.
imagine?
Oh my God. It took me like 5 minutes just to find a spot. I was like, I don't want to go here. And then Pete's like, just go. And I'm like, no, people can see me. And he's like, no one's around. And I'm like, well, the ground is soft. There's snakes. And he's like, no, it's fine. He's like, it's fine. And then finally I went and it was great. And I barely got any pee on my shoe. And it was so fun.
And nobody saw your twat or anything.
Nobody. My twat is still not seen. It's still under wraps.
What a treat.
What a treat. Yeah. Anyway, what's your fucked up thing?
Well, so like I said, I've been sick and it's just such a struggle. Been trying to get better. And I think one of the ways for me that like a process for me to feel better is just like, it could be like a physical illness, you know, any kind of like mental shit you have going on, is to fucking get your shit together, put on a cute outfit, and just like at least try to look like
dress the part,
presentable.
Yeah.
And then like maybe go outside for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So that was a strategy I had put in place a couple days ago. I was still really sick, but I was like, I'm tired of like looking like a fucking gross beast.
Yeah. You kind of wallow in it a little sometimes. You gotta like you gotta like wash your hair, get out of your pajamas, and then that helps you.
I smelled, and so I was like, I'm tired of being smelly, and I don't know if I smell because I can't smell anything, but you know, I assume. So I had done a subscription box thing, you know, where you like, I'm not gonna say which one, but like you get the clothes, you send them back, you get more clothes,
like a personal stylist. They send you,
Yeah, and so one of the items of clothing I had was a pair of like really cute wide leg jeans. I was like, and usually like wide leg jeans look like frumpy as fuck on me, but these ones were like cute, and I was like, bitch, yes, my butt looks good. I don't have a huge fupa somehow. This is crazy. I'm like all sucked in, so I was like feeling good. I mean, I wasn't feeling good, but I felt like I was looking okay.
Yeah.
So therefore I was feeling a bit better. So I'm like getting Jack ready to go to the park, and I have a huge sneeze and I piss myself like hard. So
you own those pants now?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who's gonna know?
Oh my God.
Except for everybody that just listened to this. So, but yeah, I you know, usually I know better to like put a panty liner on or something, but I had just been so ready to walk out the door that I just plumb forgot.
Oh my God.
So had to change, and then the day was over.
Did you laugh? Did you laugh at yourself?
Yeah, because I look like, and they're like light. They're like a light wash, so it was just like immediately obvious, and I was just like, God fucking damn it.
But luckily they were extra wide legs, so like the sides absorbed, like it absorbed down around the sides.
Oh, it went so far down the leg. It was like, oh dear. It wasn't that much pee either. It was just like, I mean, it was like a solid amount. It was like a quick burst.
Yeah.
So
like a quarter cup. You're lucky
Yeah.
the legs weren't so wide that it just, actually, maybe you're not lucky, but too bad it didn't just spray out onto the floor and you could have just wiped it up with a paper towel and been on your way.
I know, but
Wow.
wow.
Well,
It was
yeah, that happened.
still got to work on that pelvic floor, huh?
Oh, man.
Yep.
Or you just wear Depends.
Yeah, I think that's the answer.
Yeah.
Just do both.
Just do both.
Just constant Kegels and Depends.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Oh, God. That's good. Well.
Yeah. Well. I don't even know how to segue into this topic. But
There's no segue. We're going to talk about Beanie Babies.
I always try to segue, but it's just, this shit's too dumb, man.
It's, wow, what an adventure. I think we knew we were excited to talk about this last week when we were like picking topics and we both just started talking about how stupid it was. And then Erin's like, we have to stop. We have to save something for the podcast. So
yeah. You guys, do you remember in the like early mid 90s how crazy Beanie Babies were? Like how obsessed everybody was with them.
Dude.
Do you guys remember what Beanie Babies are? Like the little fucking stuffed animals.
It's a fucking,
that just had like,
it's a hacky
like,
sack with a face.
Literally, that's what they are.
It's like, and also like, this is like immediately what is invoked when I hear Beanie Babies. It's like those like weird stores like where we grew up that were like kind of fancy lady stores, but then they were also an official retailer of Beanie Babies because you had to be an official retailer to like sell this shit. And it's just like, they always smelled like old ladies in there, and like maybe they had candy, like weird candy.
They had like really gross smelling candles.
Yeah.
Literal potpourri, like that doesn't, like you can't buy potpourri anymore. And
because people figured out, oh, it's just a bunch of sticks that they
just
sprayed with Lysol.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's like weird like chocolates. I don't know, like gourmet chocolates that aren't good.
Like old ass gourmet chocolates. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like why am I thinking of like a red felt hat? It's like but it has like a large brim and there's like a sunflower on it.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And there's just like a whole entire rack of pashminas. And
they're all paisley pashminas.
I was just going to say they're all ugly paisley pattern. Oh, dear. Yeah.
We know.
It's like, and like the worst, most like ugliest sympathy cards. It's just an entire wall of sympathy cards. Just
they don't have any other kinds.
No, it's just sympathy.
I'm sorry you have to buy a card for someone. It's the wall of sympathy cards.
I'm sorry it's your birthday.
I'm sorry we're still married. Happy anniversary.
Oh shit. God. Oh dear.
I'm just thinking of a very specific store.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly which one you're thinking of. And then also
leopard print.
Yeah. And there's also a bunch of wood carved canes up by the register. Sorry. Like they're like walking sticks and canes.
It's a fashion cane.
Yeah, fashion cane.
Ladies fashion cane.
Men's walking sticks. And they're like Gandalf. They're like Gandalf sticks.
Oh my God! And they had those belt buckles that were like tin. It was like beaten out tin that was like the size of a baby's head, and then it had like turquoise around it.
Oh man, I like those.
Yeah, they're back in fashion. I hated them at the time. And then the belt isn't leather, it's like chain link.
Yeah.
It's like that magic trick with the two loops all the way around. Oh my god. Anyway,
It's like, are you trying to be a raver or a
like Lady Guinevere,
old lady in Sedona?
or like, are you
Lady Guinevere? Oh my god. Okay. They sold Beanie Babies there. Oh my god. Okay.
How? Why? It's like, how, like, fucking sell them at a toy store. Why are they at this fucking lady store?
Oh dear.
All right. Let's start. Okay. Do you mind if we start with the founder?
Yes,
Okay.
let's start with it, because it wasn't just some
Accident.
shitty company just like being like, let's mass produce a bunch of dumb, stuffed animals.
Yeah.
A person actually had an idea to make these things.
That makes it worse. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with Ty Warner. He is ultimately the founder of Beanie Babies. And he was just like a regular guy working at a toy manufacturer called Dakin. And they were like a plush toy company. So they made stuffed animals. Right.
Got it.
So, and according to the people he worked with, he was their number one salesman. But also according to the people he worked with, number one dickhead. He was a total asshole. But like mostly in his personal life, like the accounts I read, like I guess this is alleged from a New York Post article I read, which was actually like about a book that was released called The Great Beanie Baby Bubble, Mass Delusion, and the Dark Side of Cute. So that I don't know, whatever. But in this, someone that the author of the book interviewed said that he once waited 5 days to tell his sister that his dad died so he could like clean the antiques out of the house before, like,
What the fuck?
he was like a kind of a sketchy asshole.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah. So, not a surprise, while he was working at Dakin, he started his own toy line. Like, he was, like, secretly making a toy line on the side, and they found out, and they're like, you can't do that. Like,
Oh my god.
you work for us, you're fired.
Yeah. The definition of non-compete and why there are such business contracts signed.
Yeah. So, he was fired, and then he was like, all right, well, I'm just going to start my own business. He named it Ty, which, if you'll remember from like 2 minutes ago, that's also his name. So
Gross.
Just like a total like megalomaniac and like super into himself, a narcissist and whatevs. And he also made stuffed animals, but his initial concept was a stuffed animal, but like in the butt and then in the legs and arms, he'd put beans so that it wasn't like fully plush and could be like posable.
Yeah. I read like he said it looked like they moved, and I was like, bitch, what?
Okay.
That's some creepy ass shit.
That is creepy, and also kids don't need their animals looking like they move. I already would imagine that as a kid. Like we've talked about that creepy doll I had. I forget. It was like that Norwegian troll doll, and I would like in my little kid brain, it would come to life, and I would like stare at it and be like, "Don't come to life."
Oh my God.
Kids get scared.
Yeah. Did you see they're remaking Child's Play?
Yeah. With Audrey Plaza's in it, right?
I love her. Yeah.
Who?
And that is like a deep-seated like horror trope.
Yeah.
Like you don't want your stuffed animals looking like they just can move on their own. That's weird.
Oh my God.
But he was all about it. That was his whole concept.
He fucking loved it. And he started with his first line of toys that he like actually started selling were like Himalayan cats, which were like very fuzzy, but then they were like kind of floppy. But I think this was very important because what he did was he first appealed to like cat people with these cats, and because they were like kind of small, and he started to build like a, you know, like the idea of collecting, he also appealed to hoarders, and this is essential to capturing the American market.
Yes.
Okay.
A specific corner of the American market.
Yes, a very specific corner. So these Himalayan cats did fine, and this is in the early 90s, but it wasn't until the second line in 1993 where he expanded into more designs, and he made what would become the real first Beanie Babies, which are like full of beans. Brownie the bear, Chocolate the moose, and the very first actual Beanie Baby, Legs the frog.
That's kind of dark. Legs, the frog, like that's the part of the frog you eat.
I know.
Dude.
Maybe he was a huge ZZ Top fan.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know.
Who knows?
And at first, he'd go to retailers and they're like, ew, these are fucking cheap. Like, they're made from that scratchy ass fabric that is on the top of your car. You know, like, it's like not comfortable. No one wants to cuddle with this. It's fucking filled with beans.
And it's like small,
and it's
so it's not like huggable.
And
like
it's
you
like
can't hug it like a regular plush.
It's like
toy.
underfilled, so it's like floppy. Like it looks like someone didn't. It looks like this shouldn't have passed quality control.
Right. Yeah.
But like now it's made it into the homes of children, and so. People are like, no, we hate this. But he's like, whatever, I'm just going to keep doing my thing. And then he redesigned the bear and like made it multicolored. And then instead of being like, oh, well, like, you know, we have a new design. They did kind of do that. But he was like, oh, we'll put this out as a new face teddy. And the other one's old face teddy. And then if you have it, wow, that's really cool because that was like first edition. Instead of being like, we've improved it, essentially. Like you don't talk negatively about the previous one. Do you know what I mean?
It's not new and improved.
Right.
It's just this is brand new, and the one that you had bought before, that is retired now.
Yeah, it's special. And
it's special
because there aren't any more
crazy
of those.
that we're not going to make any more of those. Those are done. There are only like 200 ever made, and you have one of them.
Yeah. So people were like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll get new face teddy, but like also I kind of want to try and find old face teddy. And then this whole strategy was solidified in 1995 when he was manufacturing a lamb one. I forget the name of it. I don't care. And his retailer or his manufacturer couldn't fulfill the order of like more lambs. And so instead of telling his retailers like, sorry, my manufacturer fucked up, I'm not going to get this shipment to you. Again, he was like, you know what? The lamb, you're not going to see that again. It's retired. So if you already have that, great. If not, I'm sorry, like, you don't get it. And people were like, oh, like, I really want that now that I know I can't have it.
Yeah, and, like, people really like that. I can't believe we're not getting more of it.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? The demand is high.
Yeah, and then
he'd be like, it's exclusive.
It's exclusive,
sorry.
And guess what? You're not going to get the lamb, but I have something else for you, and this is limited or whatever. You know, like, so he like, really leaned into that, and then people fucking loved it.
I mean, that's honestly, in terms of marketing, that is so fucking smart. And I'm not mad about it, truly.
No.
I'm not mad about it.
Also, like, I mean, I feel like, I don't know if that is still a thing that happens, but in the 90s, that was like a huge thing that kept happening. Like, yeah. I mean, like, trading cards always existed, but then, like, Pogs, remember? Like, there were, like, special Pogs, and then, like, marbles or whatever. Like, it just kept happening.
I know. Yeah, it's interesting because by the 90s, we had such a throwaway kind of economy that it was weird to see something that was like a limited edition. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, yeah, we had like the McRib only came out for a couple months. We had, Ecto Cooler, High C, and it's like you kind of started to see the first hints of how nostalgia and exclusivity affects people's emotional decisions or emotional based decisions when it comes to buying things. So
it's wild.
This is pretty smart in my opinion. But even still, like, it's a shitty little stuffed animal that isn't even stuffed all the way. How the fuck did these things get so popular?
Yeah.
So the exclusivity aspect was very, very important to the whole strategy. So by early 1996, the scarcity strategy he pretty much accidentally stumbled into was totally paying off. And people were like totally into the idea of collecting these things because they were only in these specific retailers too.
Yeah.
These like specialty stores. They weren't sold at like Toys R Us or any other like bigger box places, just these small boutiques. So it's very interesting. Also, simultaneously, before any of this on a larger scale happened, he started this whole company in Chicago. And according to a New York Times article, this is where things started to like kind of take off, was when a handful of neighbors in the Chicago suburbs discovered that each had a small collection. So a bunch of like a group of a bunch of neighbors started figuring out like, oh, I have this Beanie Baby, and oh, you have that Beanie Baby? I've never seen that before. And they started trading with one another, like trading the Beanie Babies back and forth. And then they established some informal rules. So 2 Tabasco the Bull beanies were equivalent to one of the rare Kiwi the Toucan beanies. Their trading circle spread and eventually went national, which is pretty crazy for back before the internet was like a real thing.
Yeah.
So it ended up spreading because there were articles and TV segments about moms and dads who traded a $5 toy for thousands of dollars.
Oh,
so they just kind of like created this intrinsic value within their like little suburban, soccer mom group. I don't know. It's so weird.
No, for real, because one or two of the women, their names were Becky. And then I was just thinking, like, this is such a white lady. Like Becky is what like white ladies are called.
Yeah.
Like middle-aged white lady moms. And I was like, this is such like a mom thing. I remember a childhood friend's mom being into these.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, what? Why? Like, I didn't even understand. I was a kid. It was like, I don't know, this very suburban. It turned into like this basically somewhat affluent suburban like thing. That's where it all started, because it was just these ladies that had disposable income to be buying up these $5 fucking dumbass beanbags with a face.
And they had like the time and energy to like go looking for them.
Yeah.
And like devoting like hours scavenging through these boutique stores, or like calling random people in their like phone tree to see if they had a fucking, Princess Diana bear or whatever.
That's a real
It's
one.
wild how this all started. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. And then also in addition to this like whole kind of, I guess, springboard of the Chicago suburbanite kind of like little perfect storm here, the other key factors that contributed to the collectible nature of the Beanie Baby was the unique creative elements that were part of each little animal.
Yeah.
They were all essentially, or some of them, I don't know, some of them were just like made up creatures, but most of them were just like little animals.
It's like,
and so
it's like Bernie the Blob.
Yeah. Each product contained a unique birthday and poem that was printed on the tag of every Beanie Baby.
Okay, that's straight up stolen from fucking Cabbage Patch Kids.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Exactly.
But kids liked that, so.
Yeah. And then, of course, supply and demand, the scarce availability fell short of the product demand. So
Okay, I feel like this is where the this like suburban mom group. So they all like realized they were had these Beanie Babies, and they were like, "Oh, we all collect these." But then they all realized we should get more because it's like, oh, you have these ones, I have these ones. If we're all out there like trying to get more, we can make sure we get all the different ones. And like, that's fun or whatever their thinking behind that was. And so the two Beckys,
they become the suppliers.
Yeah, they become the suppliers. So, and they drive up the demand. So the two literal Beckys, Becky Phillips and her friend Becky Estensoro, and these other two ladies, Dr. Paula Benchik Abrinko and her sister Peggy Gallagher, they like were four women in the Chicago suburbs that like really were like, I'm gonna collect these and let's see what happens. So it started because Dr. Paula, she worked in a hospital and she realized that their gift shop sold Beanie Babies, and then she'd have to call like other hospitals for whatever reason, and then every time she was done with a call, she'd have them transfer her to the gift shop to see what Beanie Babies they had.
Oh my god.
She was like fucking doing this on the clock. She was like working two jobs. So she started getting Beanie Babies from all these different hospital gift shops that like, she'd be like, what do you have? And then she'd know, oh, I don't have that one, I'm going to get that one. And then her sister, Peggy, started, she had contacted a German distributor and was like, hey, I want to buy from you directly. And they're like, okay. So she started buying them at wholesale price and then collecting them. And then eventually she would realize that they were worth something and sell them for a lot of money. But that's how she started gathering them. And then, they were like, we have all these Beanie Babies and we know people want these, but like, how do we like put them out into the market and like, what do we charge for them? So then Peggy put put an ad in a collectible magazine, like where you would buy trading cards or whatever, or anything collectible, I guess. And she just started setting prices. She's like, okay, this one's worth $10 because it's like not, I don't think it's as rare. This one's worth $20 because I don't know anyone else who has this. And she like set the market value for Beanie Babies initially, and the market just met that. Like there was no science or math behind it. It wasn't like Ty was like, oh, I know I only made 100 of this one, so therefore it's really rare. Like they had no idea. What the actual like numbers of anything of any production was. So they didn't really know how actually scarce it was. They were just going by whatever anecdotal evidence they had in front of them. Dude, and it worked because like they set the market price, and like Ty was really pissed because eventually some of them would be selling for like $1,800 because those were so scarce. But then, oh my god, these women, he like owes his fortune to these four women specifically, or like this group of suburban housewives, because by the end of 1996. His sales had risen to $280 million, and that year his pre-tax income was $90 million. Holy shit! Because that, like, what they did also drove up the supply for the ones in stores, right? Because people don't know if the next one's gonna be so scarce that like, well, and think about how this is like all word of mouth. Yeah, also, yeah, because it was so in the 90s. It was mid 90s, like. We didn't have cell phones. Yeah, the internet existed, but at the time, only 1.4% of the American population was actually using the internet. Oh my god. So there was no tool for this to be spread around like it was. They just made this happen. It was like, I don't know, like a
underground fucking drug trade.
Dude,
It's so
for real?
crazy.
Oh my God.
It's like a black market of Beanie Babies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very interesting. I could see a movie being made about this.
I know.
It would be great. We could work on the screenplay together.
Wait, I have a joke later on. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, okay. I said we should call it, I'll leave it till we get there.
Oh, okay.
But I already have an idea.
Okay, well, we're on the same fucking wavelength as always.
As per usual.
Per usual. So another factor, obviously, going into this, making this whole craze what an actual craze, is that the availability of Beanie Babies, like we said, only sold in small gift shops and specialty shops. Where there's
next to the sympathy card wall.
Yeah. And the Paisley Pashminas. Let's see. Oh, then also, this is interesting. I'm skipping some of the notes real quick.
Yeah.
But I had mentioned before that the internet was not really a thing, but it kind of was. So it's very interesting that Thai Incorporated, the company, was the first business to produce a business-to-consumer website, which was designed to engage with their market. And I think this might have been a response to those women who had, figured out how to skirt around this and, make it so that there was, this crazy market value for them. So I think this is what they kind of came up with to stave that off.
Oh, it was like him taking back control and trying to set the value, the actual value.
Right. So because but at the same time, it's only a few 100,000 people in the United States were using the internet, and of those few 100,000 people, how many of them were using it to buy Beanie Babies? So. But it's very interesting from a marketing perspective, because this is really the first time you see somebody putting directly on their product a call to action to go to a website.
Whoa.
This is the first time that had ever been done, and I thought that was really, really interesting.
That's so wild. I don't even think I had used a computer at that point. Maybe to do a typing thing or play Oregon Trail at school.
Yeah, I mean, I remember doing going, on AOL or Netscape.
Yeah.
Navigator.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because we were probably in middle school.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's wild.
And just going on Encyclopedia Britannica online or whatever.
Yeah.
Having the CD-ROM for that. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, I remember that. That's fun.
Anyway,
I think the last thing that was really smart, but also maybe kind of led him to a little bit to the tipping point of oversaturation. He was really good at keeping ownership of his brand. So many movie studios, even Steven Spielberg had approached him and was like, "Hey, we want to do a licensing thing." Probably for Jurassic Park or something, that's around this time. And we want to do a licensing thing with Beanie Babies. And he was like, no. And
what?
Yeah, he turned down a bunch of movie studios. I would imagine Disney and all this shit, But then he did work out a deal with McDonald's. And I remember getting a Beanie Baby from McDonald's. I think that was the only one I ever got, was a mini Beanie Baby. It was they weren't actual Beanie Babies, but still the same concept. They were just smaller.
Yep.
And they were their own special thing. So he he still had the idea of okay, these are going to be limited and, it'll still be a special thing. And it was supposed to be a 5-week promotion. It had a whole marketing campaign. They did TV commercials and all this shit. But people went fucking crazy. People were going through the drive-thru and ordering 100 Happy Meals and being I don't want the food. I just give me you could keep the food and I'll pay for them, but just give me the Beanie Babies. And like people would call the McDonald's and be like, what Beanie Babies do you have? Like before they even went down there. It was so fucking crazy. I think they had planned for 5 weeks. They were done after 2 weeks. Like I think the inventory had been depleted. The McDonald's was scared for their employees' lives because like people were getting so psycho. Like
Jesus.
It was so wild. So they like canceled the whole TV campaign and like that was that. But
damn,
I feel like by this point, so all of this created a company, like all of these business moves created a company that sold $1.8 billion worth of animal-shaped beanbags, grossing Ty a personal $700 million in,
Jesus,
I think 1996. 95 or 96. This was like actually a pretty chill move and like makes me think, okay, he wasn't probably an asshole, but like maybe not a huge asshole. The year that he grossed that money, he paid out a bonus to all of his employees of their salary. So like
of their yearly salary.
So like if they made $40,000 that year, he gave them $40,000 also. Which I thought that was pretty good.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But then I feel like this is where we've created just so much shit. It's getting gnarly and people were so out of control that like then we get into the dark side of this whole craze.
Yeah.
Where like children were trampled in toy stores by like middle-aged women with bad haircuts, like trying to get whatever fucking jerk off Beanie Baby fucking shit.
Jesus.
Women are trampling kids. Becky's are trampling kids. Like it is bad. And not even that, like divorced couples had to go into arbitration over like who got whatever. You know?
It's real. It's
There's
real.
like I remember this in the news, but like it was, you know, these couples had like grown their collection together and then they get divorced and then they would fucking fight over like
what?
Just sell them all and split the money. Like what? I don't understand because well, we'll get to the fact that they're worth nothing now, but families were sinking their life savings, like they were like spending their kids' college savings that they had been putting away to buy fucking dumb dolls. And even an actor named Chris Robinson, who was a doctor on General Hospital, the soap opera, he put $100,000 into a Beanie Baby collection that never paid off. Like, people could sell these for money. Like some of the ladies that we talked about got rich from this, but not everyone. That did not happen to most people. Most people just like fucking bought these dumb toys and probably still have them in a box in their attic. You know, like this for me is like where things got out of control. Crime rings were starting to collect and trade on Beanie Babies. Like they were like running fucking crime with Beanie Babies as a currency.
Instead of fucking drugs,
Dude,
they were like running Beanie Babies.
It's psychotic. It is so
What the fuck?
It's like, but I guess that's how you know that you've made it. It's like Tony Soprano is like whacking people over like dumb Beanie Babies, and like of course like cars were getting broken into and people were like taking Beanie Babies right off the dashboard or the back. The little back shelf, which is where I see most Beanie Babies, even to this day. And like delivery trucks that were carrying Beanie Babies were getting knocked over. Police were finding police were finding Beanie Babies in like drug dens that they had raided. Like one police found some Beanie Baby and he's like, "What the fuck is that doing here? It's worth $400," and he took it.
He didn't put it in the evidence locker. He like just took it for himself.
Probably, if he was smart at the time, and hopefully he sold it and got $400 and like got to do something fun.
Oh my god!
But then, of course, like forged Beanie Babies started circulating, and you know, it just got way too big. And Ty issued cease and desist letters, and it just like things were just getting so out of control that like the bubble finally had to burst.
That's why he should have licensed his fucking shit.
I know.
Then he wouldn't.
Well, I think the problem came because I mean, also people are just over it, you know? Like people just all of a sudden have had enough. Like that's why it's a fad or a trend or whatever. It's like it's not going to exist forever. And he realized that in 1999 when he retired a series of Beanie Babies, and every other Beanie Baby that he had retired, immediately the market value spiked for that Beanie Baby. Nothing happened for these ones he retired, and he was like, uh-oh. And then he released 20 plus new designs, and people did not go crazy over them. No one waited in line. No one was calling, you know, their local fashion cane store and being like, you know, what Beanie Babies do you have? Like all of a sudden there was just like no demand for them because people were over it.
Yep. That's a fad. That's what happens. It comes and goes.
Yeah. And then, you know, it's that thing where it like, then it's too much. Like you go into a store like that and you just see all the Beanie Babies and no one's buying them. And it's like overwhelming this small little store. And then it's like sad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep.
So.
Well, I mean, people though still think Beanie Babies are worth something to this day.
I don't know how.
Well, there's recently been some articles that have popped up on the internet talking about how you might have a very rare Beanie Baby and you should try to sell it on eBay. I keep looking at these articles and reading them and being like, where are they getting this information from?
Yeah.
I think there was like one article about it that was literal fake news, and all these other articles like kind of just copy and pasted the information. And it's based on looking at eBay auctions for some of these Beanie Babies, which there's a shit ton on eBay. And that was another way that, by the way, Beanie Babies got so fucking crazy is because of eBay.
Oh, because that was like early days of eBay.
Early days of eBay, yeah. So, and probably made eBay what it is today, to be honest. So I looked at some of these auctions, and there are so many random Beanie Babies that I've never even seen before. Like probably the most famous one is the Princess Diana bear. It's like a royal blue Beanie Baby. It's a bear.
It has a little rose on its chest.
And which is so fucked up that they even made this thing. It was supposedly for like charity. They made this, and like the proceeds went to a foundation like in her name. But I don't know, who's to say. But I don't know. They put out some pretty tasteless Beanie Babies in their time. I can't figure out, though, what the fuck's going on eBay, because I'm looking at it, and so a lot of the articles, like, posted links to these different auctions of certain Beanie Babies that are going on. And they're all apparently rare Beanie Babies, and some of them have sold for thousands of dollars. And
is that real?
Well, I'm looking at the like auction date that it closed, and I guess that means that it did sell, and all of them sold or the auction closed in January of 2019. So something's weird. Something weird is going on. I don't know what, but it makes me feel like I have a conspiracy theory brewing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I think I don't know if it's real, but I mean, it can't be that there's nobody out there like with just random disposable income spending $20,000 on a Beanie Baby anymore. Like there cannot be.
You'd be crazy.
In this economy, I can't see that happening. Like there might still be a couple people out there who are like ready, willing, and able to drop $500,000 on a Princess Diana bear.
No. Oh my God.
It's not likely unless I think there's somebody out there trolling eBay auctions and intentionally artificially inflating the Beanie Baby market by actually paying thousands of dollars for rare Beanie Babies. And it could be, I have some theories about who it could be. It has to be like only one or two people.
Okay.
Or, just a very small group of people.
The Beckys?
Could be the Beckys. Could be the Beckys. But could it be Ty himself? He has all this money still probably from his heyday as this, hacky sack with a face mogul.
He after like Beanie Babies kind of stopped, he was a hotel mogul. I think he bought like the New York Four Seasons hotel. Like, so
really,
he still has money. So
yeah, he still has money.
And honestly, who's the only person who would have such a vested interest in getting these Beanie Babies to sell? Like, could it be the man with the 370,000 square foot warehouse that's full of like $100 million worth of Beanie Babies that's no one's ever seen?
That's right.
I mean, also, okay, it makes me sad that there's $100 million worth of Beanie Babies just like sitting somewhere in a warehouse. And then I thought that would be a crazy movie if it was like Toy Story, but we'll take the O's out and it'll be Ty Story.
Ty Story.
Because it's Ty, the guy, and the toys. So anyway, that was my thing.
Oh my God, that's funny. I think, or it might not be Ty. It could be a weird celebrity.
Like a very eccentric one that like loves dolls?
Yeah, and my money is on Celine Dion.
Why? Why?
Because Celine Dion's just like a weirdo. She's like a kooky aunt who just like also happens to be a billionaire.
Oh my God.
So I can see Celine Dion just like going online and being like, oh, what is my little Beanie Babies doing on night today? Oh. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Her accent, that was good.
You live. I'm surprised there's not a Celine Dion Beanie Baby, to be honest.
Maybe she has her own. Maybe she's like Frankenstein. Like maybe she's taken parts from other Beanie Babies and like Frankenstein one into a Celine Dion baby. And then she like puts it on the pool raft and like sends it out into the sunlight with a little Beanie Baby cocktail and little sunglasses. And then she like dresses the same and she gets on her raft and she floats next to it.
And she sings the Titanic song.
Near, far, wherever.
Okay. Or maybe it's not Celine Dion. Or it could maybe be a Russian oligarch. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Just like some
weird dude out there.
Old money.
In the world with a ton of money.
Fucking brony. But now he's a Beanie Baby guy.
Because, like, Russians love to troll us. So, like, why wouldn't they also, like, troll us on Beanie Babies? Yeah. Maybe he has an entire room filled with Beanie Babies that he dives into like Scrooge McDuck. I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Oh, my God. It's like a ball pit. Because Yeah, but it's all Beanie Babies.
It's like a meta ball pit because there's little balls inside of the Beanie Babies.
Oh my God, it is. It is a ball pit, but they all
technically
are housed in animal skins.
Ew.
Felty animal skins.
So I remember having Beanie. I don't know what if this is a very underbaked conspiracy theory. So I'm just throwing this out there.
Okay.
But like anyway, I don't know. Some of the worst Beanie Babies, though, that I saw. Okay, the worst one. I didn't have this one or anything, but as I was like scrolling through eBay, I saw this one. Actually, there's two that are really, really terrible and shitty.
Okay.
There is
the American flag one.
Oh no, that's pretty bad. No, there is a Holy Father Beanie Baby.
No.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was like the Catholics. Like, is it a Catholic response to Beanie Babies?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know why they made this. It's like in honor of the Pope or something.
It's a papal Beanie Baby.
Yeah, it's a papal Beanie Baby.
Papal, yeah.
And it's so weird. And I was just like, wait, what? And it just has like a, I don't know. It's in honor of the Pope John Paul II.
Huh.
It's strange. That one was weird, and it made me somehow, like, it was so tacky. It made me think of The Young Pope, that show on HBO that I fucking love. And then there's another one that is so tacky that it's, like, kind of sad. It's called The Billionaire Baby, Beanie Baby. And they made it in honor of making over $1 billion. Like, Ty made it in honor of making over $1 billion. It's so weird.
If there's something you don't need when you hit $1 billion, it's like another Beanie Baby. Like, no one wants to celebrate your $1 billion by spending $5.
So strange. So fucking weird.
Oh my God.
Anyway, and then there's some really ugly ones. I won't get into
There's
it.
like a puby one that has like curly hair.
But yeah, there's just it's so weird. What a weird fucking time. What a weird thing.
Yeah, I don't believe any of them are worth any money, honestly.
No.
Like, least of all the puby one. And also like the Princess Diana one, yeah, that's like fucked up. I don't know. It's sad. I just like don't care. These are all stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I think I had like the Peace Bear one, which is apparently a rare one.
Oh.
Like the tie-dye one.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure I had that one. And then I had a moose, I think.
Oh, that's like one of the first ones.
Yeah, but like, who
Where are
fucking
they?
cares?
Oh.
I don't know.
Also,
probably in my closet.
This is what my dad always says, like, oh, I have stuff that's worth money. And I'm like, it's only worth money if someone's willing to buy it. Like,
yeah.
I don't see anyone out there trying to actually collect this shit or like paying good money for what it's quote unquote worth. Like, let's just all agree this is done. It's
called the greater fool theory, and it's like it's a theory that's in finance and economics, and it's a theory that says the price of an object is determined not by its intrinsic value, but rather by irrational beliefs and expectations of market participants. So if you're thinking like, I have this thing that's collectible, and somebody will pay for it, somebody who is a bigger fool than me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, like somebody who doesn't know that this isn't really worth anything.
There's always somebody out there who's willing to pay a higher price for what I bought it for.
And it's also like, you know, like, yeah, there are things that are worth money. Like if you had a Picasso or something, or but it's like also you have to be willing to find the person or people or museum or whatever that's going to buy that from you, because it's so much money. Like,
Well, and this shit ain't art, okay?
It's garbage.
It's garbage. It's mass produced.
It's a fucking Joann's Fabrics craft project turned somehow hot item.
And it doesn't do anything. There's no, like, it has no function. It's just sits there. Like, at least with art, that's like, I don't know. There's beauty, and there's, I don't know.
There's beauty and there's grace. It's Miss United States. And then the little flag bear comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know what it is. Mm-hmm. But this all just reminds me of like this has happened so many times in history.
Yeah.
And specifically this happened like the fucking tulip craze in like the 1600s. We're like the Dutch during the tulip craze, and we just keep doing this stuff over and over again.
Oh yeah.
We place a value on something, and then everybody goes ape shit, and it always collapses.
Yeah.
There's a fad, and then it cycles through, and then it's done, and it's like you want to make a buck at the time, but there's no function for it, and there's always an end date for all this stuff. So I just don't understand how why we keep doing it.
Yeah.
Knowing the history of this kind of stuff. So
yeah. I don't know.
I think, in my personal opinion, I think the Beanie Baby craze was a true distillation of late stage capitalism.
Yeah. And who doesn't want to make a quick buck? Everybody, it's like the American dream. Somehow you're going to stumble upon some money. It's like the fucking, I'm watching Deadwood, It's like the
I
gold
love Deadwood.
rush, you know? It's like everyone just like is mining for Beanie Babies, hoping they have the one that's worth like 30 grand in this like time where that was so concentrated. And now, man, I would feel so dumb. Like now, if I was someone that had participated and like spent all my life savings,
Yeah,
and now you just have a bunch of fucking beans.
I know.
And they're not the magic kind, Jack.
That's
This
right.
ain't no beanstalk. You know what I mean?
No, this is the Beanie Baby butthole of just, I don't know.
These beans are the magical fruit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's
That's
shit.
right.
But instead of toot, you'll shit.
Yeah, just you'll really shit the bed. I don't know. Oh, what a time.
What a time.
Yeah, if you have some Beanie Babies still,
Take
sorry.
a picture. Oh.
Take a picture. I was gonna say sorry, they're not worth anything.
Yeah,
probably.
and I was gonna
You
say
could try.
take a picture, post it in the group.
See if somebody buys them. Try to sell them on eBay. See what happens. I really want to know if like people are actually out there buying them. You could be sitting on a fortune if there really is a troll out there, but I don't know. I don't know.
Or like try and sell them on Facebook Marketplace because I feel like there's so many old people on there now, and
That's
like
true.
you know they might think they're worth something even though we all know they're not. So,
That's where you're gonna find those greater fools for sure.
but you know what? If you do have that's worth something, a lady's fashion cane, that I'll buy that. Post it in the group. No, I want to see a picture though. I'm thinking about getting one.
I mean, we're all gonna need one at some point.
We are, yeah.
That's where you should if you really want to make a buck, go into the industry of death because that's gonna happen to everybody.
Yep.
And you know what? The demand is always gonna be there. None of us are getting out of here alive.
I got you a card. It says, "Sorry, you have to die."
From the wall of sympathy, sympathy cards.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Sorry I'm sick and sound terrible.
No, we don't mind. Hopefully it offset my lisp. So.
Oh, for sure.
Well, and also like follow us on social medias or whatever if you want. Like no press. DTFU podcast on all the platforms.
Yeah.
And that's it. Probably it for now.
Yeah. Sorry, my air conditioning just came on and it's loud.
It's fine. We're done.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Be excellent to yourselves
And each other.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.